I think I may have found Game of the Year for all years combined. It's Renegade Paintball. And they wrote Renegade in gangsta graffiti, so you know it's serious. And it was $2.50, so you know it's going to be quality. Great players leave their mark. Yeah, they back up and spray it like a cat. Oh, speaking of which, it's made by Cat Daddy Games, which is admittedly an amusing name for a studio. Prepare for the ultimate splat fest with adrenaline-pumping tournament, field ball, and arcade modes. From bunkering inside arenas to getting gogged in the great outdoors. I guess I'm not cool because I actually had to look up what that means. It's time to break out in the most intense paintball experience yet. That's true by default for me, considering I've never before played a paintball game. 28 single-player challenges, 13 diverse environments, 8 game types, King of the Hill, Center Flag, Elimination, and more. Just like the real thing that I could be playing in real life instead of awkwardly pointing a camera at an outdated virtual version at a little past midnight. Play 7-on-7 via Xbox Live. I can't help but get the feeling that even if you were playing this before original Xbox Live was shut down, you'd probably have a hard time finding 13 other people to play it with, because they were all playing Halo 2. Maybe I'm wrong and this game had a thriving community, but I'd never heard of it. Field editor for unlimited customization, over 150 objects, and bust out the fiber optic cable because it even supports Dolby Digital, so the little compressed air puffs can really give my 3-way tower speakers a workout. And it's rated T for violence, which is odd considering the whole point of making it paintball is that it's not violent. And suggestive themes? What? Is one of the teams just running around in their underwear the whole time? Anyway, this acid yellow case actually suits the game quite well, but I don't think it's original. And unfortunately, the disc has a couple odd-looking spots on it, so this may end up being a very short video. Here's to hoping I don't regret this completely.
Renegade Paintball.
Ooh, yeah. And immediately we're bombarded with heavily compressed and overexposed photos. That's great. Oh. Oh, okay, I was confused at first. This interface made it look like I would spin the stick to pick a letter, because it's radial, but it is still just up and down to scroll. It's not very effective. Oh, there is a caps lock. I just noticed that. Let's type this correctly. Okay. That menu sucks. Now let's put an exclamation mark there just for fun. Oh, and we're right into it. Apparently these are real people. We have Claire Benavides? Benavides? I don't fucking know. Years playing 4, Team the Mob. That means nothing to me. Classically trained pianist and violinist. Martial artist trained in Taekwondo, Muay Thai, Kendo, and whatever the hell that last thing is. Quite the list of achievements at age 24, if it's true. Chris IQ Iaquinta. Before his gig at Splat Magazine, Chris was a full-time musician playing several instruments, including piano and drums. Was everyone a musician? John Marks Jr. I always see girls naked, and sometimes it hurts. I don't even know what to say to that other than I don't like this guy. Kat Gong. Her father legalized paintball in New Jersey and opened the first field in the state. Implying paintball wasn't legal in New Jersey? Marcus James Nielsen. He's played on more pro teams than practically any other player alive in a mere 10 years. And he looks like a dollar store Max Payne. Nikki T. Truder passed up the chance to move to California and work for one of the top 3 leading manufacturers to play for the UK's best team, Nexus. Scott Cresson. Scott started Hostile Kids. Alright, that's quite the achievement there, bro. I like his anguished 1,000-yard stare. I mean, shit, man, just gaze into his eyes. I competed in a yo-yo contest last month and lost. If that's what constitutes an interesting fact, you must be a bit bland. I hope to travel the world and to do it for a living someday. What, losing in yo-yo contests? Or paintball? Or traveling? Hope to travel the world and do it for a living? What's the antecedent for it there? Oh man, you're just confusing. I don't like you. Spencer Naveau owns over 15 high-end markers. What's a marker? I mean, I know a marker is like an implement for writing with ink, but I'm assuming that's not the kind of marker it's talking about. I'm assuming it's some sort of paintball apparatus, but does that just mean gun because you use them to mark things with paint? I don't know. I'm out of my element here. Man, I don't like any of these people. This guy, his photo looks like a mugshot. Her claim to fame is losing a yo-yo contest. This guy's a little kid. This guy always sees girls naked, and sometimes it hurts, and I really don't know what that means. Well, I'm gonna go with Claire Benavides because, Benavides? I don't like her last name because I don't know how to say it, but she's the only one I can't find something I don't like about, so good enough for me. Oh, and now we pick mode. So I apparently can't switch characters? I would have thought I'd pick a mode and then a character, but I guess you just are that character for your career. Let's go to game options. It's always the first thing I do. Sound options. Controller options. We just have sensitivity, swap triggers, and invert look. Alright, defaults to the right one. Oh, let's see if multiplayer works. Xbox Live. Oh, right, I don't even have an account. So there doesn't appear to be any kind of training mode, but arcade. Arena, hill, town, trenches, Wild West, stadium large, stadium small, industrial, city, woodland, and arena. Alright. Radar on, number of players 3, advanced game options, spot skill level. Let's make them stupid because I have no idea what I'm doing. Okay, let's just do a quick round of arcade so I can learn the ropes. Is every photo in this game overexposed? Look at all these blown highlights. Makes me want to puke.
Go.
Okay.
Got you.
He spawned right behind me. Are you kidding me? So, he was right on me. That's fantastic. Oh man, the aiming sensitivity is very low. I was overwhelmed by noob snot. Ooh, wow, yeah, they've modeled a pretty dramatic ballistic drop. I do have to say, it's a little surreal to play a first-person shooter with such a severe projectile drop. And man, aiming is way harder than I expected it to be.
You're on fire.
Also, is the ballistic drop on paintball really this bad? Because I've never played paintball in real life. I'm more used to airsoft, where the projectiles weigh a lot less.
Well, in my left hand I have a feather. In my right hand a hammer. Hopefully they'll hit the ground at the same time. How about that?
This music is trying really hard to be epic, though. I gotta give it credit for that. This audio is very underwhelming too. I mean, yeah, it sounds realistic. The mechanism here does feel authentic, but it's not nearly as satisfying as a nice, powerful gunshot. You know what I mean? It basically just sounds like a stapler. What I don't know is what the large array of icons around the HUD actually mean. Oh, I can jump. Okay. What does that thing I picked up actually do? I don't even know. It's a ball on a spring, which... I would interpret to mean that I can jump higher, but since I didn't realize I could jump until after I picked it up, I can't compare. At this resolution, it is legitimately difficult to see your projectiles. Also, my gun model is gigantic and covering way too much of the screen for my liking. And yeah, they just spawn right on top of you. I'm assuming the sparkles clearly mean they're invincible when they first spawn in. Which is unfortunate because it just gives them a chance to shoot me.
Unstoppable.
Oh, and we're trying to do the Halo announcer thing. It's not quite working. Oh man. We kind of have the Star Wars problem here. When you have a shooter that takes place in the Star Wars universe, you have the problem that all the projectiles move really slowly, which makes it incredibly hard to hit moving targets.
You won.
Because by the time the projectile reaches them, they've of course moved. This was a big problem in the original Battlefront, where it was really hard to hit anybody who was strafing because the projectiles moved so slowly. Wisely, I believe they upped the speed in Battlefront 2. At least it felt better.
Smoke it.
This, of course, being Paintball, has the exact same problem where your projectiles move very slowly, so a moving target is very hard to hit. It's really weird having to aim this far up when we're not very far apart. I guess I see now why the arena is so small, because much more distance than this, and this ballistic drop would be incredibly impractical. So you can indeed fire while you're in that invincibility phase, which seems really unfair. You'd think the act of firing should instantly make your invincibility end. And yeah, they can shoot me while invincible, which is a bit shit. And in truth, I can't actually tell the difference between these guns that you can pick up. Are they different? This one sounds nicer slightly, but does it have different performance?
Unstoppable.
Of course, we don't have magazines and reloading, so it's not like there's capacity differences or reload time differences. You know, the things that typically differentiate guns in a first-person shooter, of course, don't exist here. So that could be considered an example of why making a video game out of Paintball is not the best idea in the world. I am impressed with how many different terms they came up with in the Carnage feed on the bottom left for taking out an enemy. Vanquished, sideswiped, wasted, dispatched. The frame rate on the radar is quite low. It doesn't update every frame.
You won.
Oh, and Noob Stott was creamed. Gonna abort the game here, because got the general gist to how it feels. Feels a bit stiff. Not too bad. I felt worse. It's not exactly Halo 2, but I wasn't expecting it to be.
Welcome to Renegade Paintball. You've selected the career mode that will take you through a series of challenges testing your skills against various teams and types of markers to see how you rank. The winner of each challenge will be determined by the team that takes the best 2 out of 3 rounds.
All right. Sounds good to me, bro. And then the rest are all locked. Oh my god, there's so many. And we're gonna switch it to normal difficulty. Normally I would play games on hard, but I'm kind of out of my element here. I don't know what the hell is happening.
So welcome to your first challenge in the arena. It should be a fast-paced 3-on-3 elimination match, so be quick to grab a spot and take them down.
Alright. No objectives, just shoot everybody. Well, except my teammates, of course. I don't know if there's friendly fire. Go. Red, fair enough. Oh, hey, I actually can zoom in. I didn't realize I could do that. Because there's no tutorial mode and I don't have the manual. I'm assuming that's an enemy. He looks blue to me. Oh, there's a sprint. Wow, I wasn't expecting a sprint, actually. Okay, that's prone. How do I crouch? Oh, wow, that's... Okay, the control scheme here is a bit weird. X is crouch. B is prone. Y doesn't seem to do anything. Sprint is the left stick, as you would expect it to be. nowadays. And then clicking the right stick is zoom in like this. So, reasonably modern control scheme here. So I take it there's no respawning, because I think it's just this guy and me. And my gun's accuracy leaves a lot to be desired. Holy crap. Just scattering shit everywhere.
Your team lost.
I see that. I didn't realize there was no respawning. I guess
Round 2.
I should have ascertained that from that it's called Elimination. So I wasn't being nearly careful enough because I was dicking around with the control scheme. But I know it now, so I can take this a little more seriously. Wow, I wish I had some actual range. Alright, I got Loser done. Ooh. Oh, piss.
Your team has been defeated.
Wow, I suck at this. Wait, really? Wow. Just like, here, have some boobs, I guess. Okay. So tasteful.
So welcome to your first round
Shut
1.
up, bro. Alright, take 2. I'll actually try this time. I don't like that it calls me Claire now instead of Prick, because, of course, I'm playing an actual person I picked instead of just having a custom character. This does make me wish there was some sort of way to customize your character, and, you know, instead of picking someone who apparently actually exists. I'm assuming those are all real people. Although their bios were so ridiculous, I would not be surprised if they were made up. Good one, Harry Mike. That went much better.
Round 2. Go.
All right. I'm not sure I like... I'm gonna complain here about the sound effects for paintballs flying past you. It's clearly just a cartoon whoosh sound effect. It's like somebody swinging a stick. Why didn't they just record actual paintballs flying past the mic? Unless that actually is what it is, but it doesn't sound like it to me. To me, it does sound like somebody swinging a small switch, you know? Ah, piss. Oh! Oh, I can actually take control of a teammate when I die? I didn't realize that. I was like, what the hell is this swooping camera? Apparently now I'm Harry Mike.
Your team won.
Excellent. Okay, so when you get taken out, you can take over a teammate, which is sweet because you can probably play better than the teammates. And I guess this is just a theme of model photography where I'm supposed to... Oh, God. Okay, this is future me talking, edited in, and now we know what the suggestive themes are about. It has nothing to do with the paintball, they just cut in pinups for no reason. That's actually so absurd, I couldn't have predicted it. And I was curious if this is just a thing Splat Magazine did/does, so I Googled it. And among the first results that weren't just this game was this. Paintball's newest, fastest, hottest. The glamour girls of paintball. Hot, sexy, and they can kick your butt. Getting started. How to make your first time real special. Get it? They're doing a double entendre there where it's about paintball but also sounds like sex. So witty. Over 300% more beautiful babes per page than ever before. You know, I have no clue what the provenance of this cover is, and ordinarily, I might assume it's fake or a parody, but we know who this is. That's our yo-yo champion. So I guess the whole babe thing is just part of Splat's branding. And I want to unpack this a bit because I want to be very clear that I'm not trying to be on a moral high horse pretending that I'm too classy for this. I'm not at all opposed to this kind of thing in general, that is, model photography. But there's a big difference between, dude, look at the babes in their boobage, and a well-executed piece that is thematically sexual, yes, but still done with some level of taste and intended to hold up to at least some level of artistic scrutiny. Originally, I wrote a detailed breakdown here of a certain photo I considered to be a superior example, describing the ways in which it showed consideration put into its elements. But when I wrote to the photographer asking for permission to use it, I never got a response, presumably because he's Taiwanese and doesn't speak my language. I certainly don't speak his. He could just throw it in Google Translate, and I guess it would fall under fair use for critique anyway, so I don't really need permission. But I don't want to start any trouble, so I've cut that part. Point being, I'm not against this because I'm moral high-horsing. I like tits as much as the next guy, so I'm not saying this is unethical or can't be done well. I'm saying that this isn't done particularly well. Also, what the hell does any of this have to do with paintball? 10 completion points, plus 10 normal difficulty, plus 9 for quick completion, whatever that means. I mean, how quick is quick enough? Plus 5 for a shutout bonus. I don't know what that is, and 1.7 frag bonus, which I'm assuming is frags as in how many guys I took out, but I don't really know how that's calculated. 10% accuracy, which is stunningly low. Points for challenge, 35.7. Not great. Hill King. There are 3 main paths that lead you from one side of the hill to the other. Often choosing the right path will determine who wins the match. Anyway, getting back to what I was complaining about the whoosh sound effects. They don't sound like something actually flying past my head, which, particularly because this game supports Dolby Digital, would actually be pretty cool if they sounded real, and they don't. I guess that's my point.
Try and hold the zone on this 4-on-4 King of the Hill challenge.
An actual exterior
Do you
region.
have what it takes to be king, or are you just the court jester?
At least the narrator's trying. It's not bad. So this appears to be quite a significantly larger environment, which is cool. I wasn't expecting that. I was beginning to be afraid the whole game was going to be really claustrophobic arenas. But this appears to be quite large. And honestly, the graphics aren't half bad.
Round 1.
The draw distance on the foliage is a bit lacking,
Go.
which is just par for the course for this era, but particularly that the trees and such, and even this bush here, are actually casting projected shadows. You didn't always see that in this era. They're not moving, so they could just be straight up baked in. Because yeah, the tree is moving, but its shadow is not. So it is baked in. Still, okay, I'm guessing this infinitely expanding slinky here is a control point. But how do I, so on the top right, there's a meter of some kind, 15, 16, 17, 18. Is that us scoring points? What's happening? Interestingly, I just noticed, if you're crouching, ooh, that was nice. If you're crouching and you jump, you actually continue to be crouching when you land. Jumping does not uncrouch you as it does in pretty much every shooter. You actually have to hit the crouch button again to stand up. Which I don't mind, honestly. It's non-standard, but this travel time is killing me. I just want to put my crosshair on them and hit them, and I can't. I could throw these things faster. Luckily, the sprint is pretty fast. This music is trying so hard to be epic. It's pretty good, actually. It's not bad music, but it does feel really inappropriate how hard it is trying to be awesome when there's actually not that much happening. Now, ordinarily, I would complain about a score in a video game being that sort of metal sound, because generally, any sort of metalish music like that is going to be too dense for a complex soundscape. But because the sound effects here are so sparse and simple, it's just like little stapler clicks. The soundscape is so sparse that actually the density of the metal music is perfectly fine, because it actually fills in what would otherwise be kind of a void of nothing. So I don't mind it here, where in a lot of games I would probably complain about this kind of music being used as a score. Not that I'm against this type of music, it's just Again, for the reason I just described, usually inappropriate for a score because it's too dense when there's other things going on.
Your team lost.
But there aren't other things going on, so I guess it's fine. Ooh. Oh. Oh, the D-padded lean. So if I crouch... Okay, so up and down on the D-pad toggle you from standing to crouching to prone, which you can do with the face buttons, but left and right allow you to lean. Nice. That should help me out, because I can actually stay behind cover and then lean out, instead of doing what I've been doing, which is sort of exposing myself. Although the effectiveness of that would depend on how the game handles your hitbox while you're leaning, which may or may not work the way you think it does. Ooh, the frame rate's kind of tanking here, I have to say. Sadly. It's been pretty rock solid. Alright, so at this point, because it's King of the Hill, we just sit here and wait. I can't decide if I need to up my sensitivity or lower it.
Smoke it.
How the hell did I land that shot? That was pure luck. I mean, I meant to do that. That was pure skill. See, I'm wanting to I'm used to being a twitchy sort of person in shooters. I'm used to kind of like twitching the aim, twitching the crosshair over to someone and firing quickly. But of course, with the very slow travel time, that completely doesn't work here. So the reason I'm sucking so badly here is because the whole way I normally play shooters just does not apply here. So I probably look like I completely suck at video games right now. Which I may, but... Oh, and his dialogue got cut off there.
Go!
We have to win this one. Come on, DJ Mike, Captain Stefan, and Eagle-Eye Jesse. Who's gonna sit back here uselessly? Can I lean? Ooh, I can lean while prone. That's pretty sweet, actually. See, like right now, there's like zero sound happening, or there would be like zero sound happening if there wasn't this music. So I actually do appreciate that it's filling out the soundscape. Oh, and my gun didn't make a sound. Oh, there we go. I had to fire it 3 times before it made a sound. Not sure why that is. And I'm continuing to see new terms in the Carnage feed. Squished, destroyed, overwhelmed. Man. I gotta give him credit for putting that many in. Come on, guys, could you get your asses over here? You do have a sprint. Man, I wish this gun had a higher rate of fire, though.
You're on fire.
Like, that's the fastest I can fire it, which is really slow. Wow, this is still going. We're at 130 points to 10. Can we just call it?
Your team
There.
won.
Oh, it's just on time, not score. I guess it's just 3 minutes instead of first to a score.
New challenge unlocked.
Yay. Boobs. Oh man, we're only on the third one. We got plenty of game left. Once a military training ground, it's now your Renegade Paintball playground. You get everything from concrete fortresses to helicopters. Go get 'em, soldier! Don't mind if I do. Yay, more blown highlights.
For this one, we bumped up your firepower just a bit, and you're going to need it for this 6 versus 6 Capture the Flag challenge held on this old military testing ground.
Also known as a forest. This doesn't look anything like a military testing ground. Oh, there's an actual structure. Okay.
Round 1. Go!
I'm just gonna follow these guys because I don't know where to go. I don't know this map. He did say they bumped up our firepower, and it does not even remotely feel like that's true. I think the ballistic arc is the same. Maybe it's 1 FPS more than it was. Ooh, I probably shouldn't be standing out in the open like a dumbass. You're mine, bitch. Even though it took me an embarrassingly long time to line up that shot. Headshot! Oh, God. I think I'm on my own. Everybody died. I mean, was hit. Because this is paintball. Still just using regular shooter terms. Ooh, that was really close. Okay, I take it back. I think we do actually have a little more range than before. It's not a lot, but fuck, I'll take any I can get. Also, these guns are so inaccurate. At this range, it's chance if I hit them. It doesn't really matter where my crosshair is. I don't know why I'm sitting in place taking guys out. There doesn't appear to be any score for frags. Piss. Now I get the joyous process of running all the way back to where I was. We have a couple guys just camping the base. It's actually nice. I would like their help, but at the same time, somebody needs to defend the base. 4.5 minutes left, and nothing's happened yet. Although it looks like they're about to get into our base. Ooh, that was a nice shot. Ooh. These cheesy cartoon whoosh sound effects when stuff flies past me. This makes me just want to go out and record some real paintball flybys. Like, just set up a microphone and fire some paintballs past it. Like, that can be done. I mean, I've done that with airsoft and arrows. Just set up a mic and shoot past it. You can do that. This is going pretty well right here, just defending like this, but me just staying here and defending doesn't really benefit us because we still need to score. And I'm not sure my teammates are capable. So it would help if my giant gun model didn't obscure most of the screen.
Unstoppable.
Ooh, that was a headshot. Nice. I have no idea how to get more ammo. And I have 49 more shots, but are there pickups at our base? Or do I just not get more ammo? I have to admire the frame rate, though. I mean, as soon as I say that, it dips. It's dipping a bit here and there, but it's mostly 60, which is pretty sweet. Most shooters on console at this time were pretty much always 30. Mostly because shooters tended to push the graphical envelope a lot. So they didn't necessarily prioritize frame rate. Tons and tons and tons of games ran at 60 FPS on the Xbox, PS2, GameCube generation, but usually wasn't shooters. Alright, I'm just gonna start moving in. Although there's only a minute left, which I don't think is nearly enough. Even if I grabbed the flag, like, right now. Ooh, I like all the cutouts in this tank. Aw, man. That's a pretty sweet firing position, actually. Not that it really benefits me to be in here, but 30 seconds and 18 rounds. We got this, Claire. Oh, except I can't sprint anymore. Damn it.
Your flag has been taken.
I don't care. They can't get it here in time. Totally gonna take theirs. Fuck you, Harry Ann. Why is everyone hairy?
Your flag has been returned.
Goddamn right it has. Right when I get here, we run out of time. Not that I could have gotten it back to base, unless the timer stops while you're holding the flag, which it
Round
might.
2.
I didn't notice if it did while they had ours.
Go.
There are still decals here. Don't know how long those have been here. There aren't any on that, though, and I was getting shot at quite a bit. Not sure. Xbox doesn't have that much memory, so it can't keep decals around forever. Although I say that, and then you have Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 keeping bullet casings and magazines around pretty much forever. I mean, until you actually leave the cell. Although MGS 2 and 3 are like the only, and consequently Twin Snakes, because it runs basically on the MGS 2 engine. Those are like the only games I've ever played that keep casings and magazines around. And yet they run at like a butter smooth frame rate. It doesn't seem to kill it to do that. Which does make me wonder why more games don't. Like, why do so many games, like a bullet casing hits the ground and then instantly they despawn it as quickly as they possibly can. Like, it's really hard to keep it lying around. But then Metal Gear Solid just leaves them there forever. Well, it's not like the frame rate tanks if you fire 50 rounds and, oh my god, there's 50 casings on the ground. How can we render that many? It just keeps running perfectly. And that's on a PS2, which is considerably less powerful than an Xbox. Hell, even the generation after this, in like Battlefield 3, which is like graphically amazing, it was really quite a benchmark at the time. Casings don't even hit the ground at all, they just phase through it, which feels a bit cheap. When even Turok gave... Well, when even the original Turok gave bullet casings at least a little bit of collision on the ground before they fell through it. And now I'm talking about bullet casings instead of trying to capture a flag. I feel like I'm not doing very well, but I don't exactly have a lot of support from my allies. This is where some squad commands would go a long way. If I could say, like, follow me, and we could move in as an actual group. So, I guess in lieu of that, what I should be doing... Oh, crap. Instead of trying to get my allies to follow me, I should probably just be following them, because at least then we'll kind of be in a group. Oh, interesting. You can actually... I was wondering what Y was used for. You can use the Y button as a sprint button instead of clicking the left stick if you want to. But then, of course, you can't turn while doing it because your thumb is off of the aiming stick. So it's not very effective. Oh man, I have to lead my target by like a mile. Okay. Got some allies coming up. You guys are moving in, I'm coming with you. There are a bajillion enemies here, though. This is not going to go well, presumably. I'm out of sprint, right when I need it. Oh god. And here the frame rate is dropping, sadly. After I commented on how it's pretty good.
Captured their flag. Your team has dropped the flag.
No, no, no. Come on, Claire, we can do this. Oh, or not. The size of this map, combined with going down in one hit, and having a fairly long respawn timer, kind of makes capture the flag non-viable. Like, I have to charge in to have any chance of getting their flag, but if I charge in, I just get punked out in one hit.
Your team has captured their flag.
It's paintball. You don't have a health bar or shields or anything like that. Oh, that's that's my ally. Sorry, I totally spawn killed that guy, but he's not a real person, so I don't need to feel too much remorse about it. But this is where we can make a really good case for one of the major elements that makes first-person shooters work.
Your team scored.
Is that you can take more than one hit.
Your team won.
Oh, you only need to score 1 point? Alright.
Round 3.
Wait, why did it mark the first round as a loss when it was a draw? Apparently the game does not have a concept of a draw. See, at least in Halo, you can take a few hits before you get taken out. So, something like storming into where their flag is to grab it is a little more viable. than it is here, where it's just instantly out, and that's it. Also, Eli. Oh, you can tell this game was made in 2005. Noob and Leet, like, oh man. It takes me back, but I'm not sure it does in a good way. Oh, walked right into that like a dumbass. So far, the thing this game is doing really, really well is making me feel like a complete buffoon. I like this chopped, that deep tremolo chopping in the music there. That's quite nice. And that's tremolo in the amplitude sense, not tremolo in the pitch bend sense. Unfortunately, that word is used for both things. So there are effects in editing software called tremolo that pump the amplitude like that, and if you do full depth, it actually cuts off. You get that chopping. But at the same time, things like whammy bars on guitars are called tremolos, which is pitch bend, not amplitude, so it's just one of those things where unfortunately the same term is used for two different things. Kind of like compression. Compression can either refer to reducing dynamic range, or it can refer to reducing data rate, which are completely independent, unrelated processes that unfortunately are both called compression. Which is incredibly annoying. Well, luckily you weren't fucking looking.
You're on fire.
See, when I'm doing that, even when I'm managing to hold my ground a bit and take a few bitches out, there's not really a reason to do that. But I can't just run past them into the base because one hit takes me out. So it's not like I can, you know, take a few hits, but with some
Your team has captured
decent
their flag.
maneuvering, I can, you know, get in there and grab the flag. But it's like no amount of maneuvering is really going to help me when one hit's an insta-kill. So you just end up sort of, you know, bunkering down in place, but you don't really achieve anything by doing that.
Your team scored. Your team won.
Fuck yeah.
New challenge unlocked.
Plus 10 quick completion, plus 0 shutout. I really don't know what shutout is. Plus 3 frag bonus. Well, at least I guess here I am getting points for frags, so I guess technically there's a benefit for doing it, but I don't really know what these points get me. There doesn't seem to be in career mode, there doesn't seem to be an overall progression system where you like level up or get new gear. In fact, that's one thing that would be great here is picking different guns that have different stats. Like, you know, if I could get a gun with more rate of fire but maybe less velocity, or the other way around where it has tons of velocity and good range but I can't fire it as quickly. At least some sort of variance. But like you don't even get to pick your gear, or even just cosmetic. Hell, even if the guns all operated the same, if I could at least pick what it looks like, or like colors, or like stick decals to it, or something. Hiding and sniping spots abound in this plywood jungle. Rooting the enemy out of their hiding places is what this level is all about. Okay, but sniping's not a great tactic when we have such low velocity and low range.
This mock town layout should prove to be interesting for this 4 versus 4 elimination challenge. Locate your enemies and take them out.
Wow, this is actually a pretty elaborate map. I mean, not in video game terms, I mean in real life terms. That's a lot of shit to build out of plywood. Not bad. That'd be a great place to play paintball.
Round 1.
Ooh, my gun looks different.
Go!
Ooh, I think it has less velocity than it did before. Well, I mean, on the previous map, it was raised, as they said, but I feel like it's... Oh man, that's less than even the first round in the tiny arena map. So, sniping spots abound, but... I have no range. Look at this. They're just blowing in the wind. Some are falling way short, some are going over. Is there a reason my gun sucks this much? Come on, come on. Come on. See, that one went really high, and then the one after it went way low. It doesn't even matter where my crosshair is. He seems to have more powerful shots than me. That's not fair. He's actually reaching me, and I can barely reach him. Of course, I'm saying him, and it might not be. I can't tell at that distance. Okay. I have no ammo. And there's a guy right next to me. This is not good. Don't kill me! So, what do I do when I'm out of ammo? Oh, there's a reload button. Oh, okay. I didn't realize I could do that. Now I feel like a dumbass. Unfortunately, there's no animation for it. You just hear the pouring sound off screen. Ooh, and it looks like oh no. I was gonna say, it looks like I can only do it once because I didn't hear the sound effect a second time, but it did refill. This game just has a problem with sometimes not playing sound effects. So yeah, it is the black button to reload, which I didn't know. The game never told me I could do that. I don't know if it's infinite. Can I refill an endless number of times, or can I only do it like 2 or 3 times?
Your team won.
I really don't know.
Go.
Also, why is my gun so weak? I wasn't given a choice. Apparently the left trigger. Oh, okay. Left trigger also locks you in place so you can lean back and forth instead of using the D-pad. I guess he's above? Or why is there a blue dot there? Is there a basement? Oh, look at that couch. Holy shit. Oh, that's a glorious trashed couch. Oh, I can smell it. I don't even know how, but I can smell it. Okay, I should actually be playing the game. Let's go find some bitches. Clearly one in this structure, I think? Or is there? Ooh, I like all these tight corridors. Oh, come on, bitch, I pulled the trigger. Alright. Oh, that's an ally. Okay, so they must be upstairs. I'm coming in, don't kill me. Come out so I may kill you. Come on. Whoa, did you just teleport through the wall? He was in there, and then he... Oh. Not cool. Oh, the chalk outline is a great touch. Because that feels like something that genuinely would be here if this was a real-life paintball area.
Your team won.
Someone would think it was so cool. Oh, dude, I'm gonna draw a chalk outline here.
New challenge unlocked.
And I had 3% accuracy because I spent like 5 minutes trying to shoot that guy through the window. Arena CTF. CTF in that? Oh my god.
Now here we are back at the arena again. But this time, it's all about the flags. Get theirs before they get yours. And don't get lost on this fast-paced 2-on-2 capture the flag match.
Now, if only his voice was a little higher quality. It's not like, you know, you have up to a dual-layer DVD that has shit tons of space. By 2005 standards, I mean, a dual-layer DVD has fuck tons of space. Most games didn't even come close to filling the disc. Which is why tons of multi-platform games came out on GameCube, which had comparatively far, far less storage space, and yet they fit on it just fine. Wait, is it just 2-on-2? Yeah, I think I only have one teammate. I don't see two. Oh, and we have the terrible velocity again. I really don't know. Oh. Old school Anna. She's from back when they used to rocket jump to school, uphill both ways. I'm going in. Man, they're actually pretty good at tracking you while you're moving laterally. Which is a shame because I'm not.
Your team's flag has been taken. Their team has dropped. Your flag has been returned.
Apparently Dr. Stealth... Oh. I was gonna say Dr. Stealth, but it's Dr. Sheath? Dr. Seaft?
You're on fire.
Apparently he's decided he's running defense, which means nothing's gonna happen unless I move out. Because he's clearly not going to. God damn it. And unfortunately, a problem with the radar is that icons overlap. So with the B and the flag icon, I can't actually see the dots if they're in the same spot as the B or the flag. Like, I know that's where the base and the flag are, you could take them off the map. Also, I feel like that mechanism on the side of the gun model isn't reciprocating nearly fast enough. I don't know, I've never used a paintball gun. I don't know, it does make me sound really boring when I say I have no clue. I'm like completely clueless about paintball as like an entire industry. I know nothing about it.
Unstoppable.
Which is... see, they just shoot me while they're invincible. Like, so if you take them out, by the time you've run to the base, they've respawned anyway, and then they just shoot you while they're invincible. I swear I know things, just not about paintball.
Your team has dropped the opponent's flag.
How is it fair that they can fire while invincible? This would be so much better if it was designed so that you're invincible briefly when you spawn in, but if you fire before the invincibility wears off, the act of firing causes the invincibility to end, you know? Because otherwise they can just get a bunch of shots off while you can't return fire. Which I'm not digging, by the way.
Your team has captured their flag.
The timer does not stop when you're holding the flag, sadly. No, don't shoot me.
Your team scored. Your team won.
Capture the flag on this tiny map is working a little better than I expected it to. I thought this was just going to be a fucking nightmare. And, it's not horrific. It's not working great, either. But it's not a straight-up clusterfuck.
Your team has captured their flag.
Cover me, bud. How do I... Why can't I capture?
Your team scored.
Oh!
Your team won.
Now I do feel like an idiot. That was kind of embarrassing. Hill elimination. There are 3 main paths that lead from one side of the hill to the other. Oh, that's the same thing I read before. I actually kind of liked this map, so making it just straight elimination instead of King of the Hill, where you sort of just sit in place, should actually make it more exciting.
You're undergunned, but you'll still need to wipe out your opponents before they take you out.
What do you mean I'm undergunned?
5 versus 5 hill battle. Round 1.
Do you mean my gun's not very powerful, or do you mean they have better ones? Ooh, yeah, it's not very powerful. Man, it sure would be exciting if I could pick a different gun. Or like, choose my loadout, or customize cosmetic things, or... well, anything, really. Also, the constant hard rock music is beginning to wear on me, I have to say. I mean, everything I said earlier is still true. It does help the, extremely sparse soundscape feel less sparse, but it's also very fatiguing. This kind of dense, aggressive music wears out its welcome fairly quickly for me. Double kill! Okay, so there was an old school and then different name. I already forgot what it was. So apparently these names are procedurally generated out of like a first and last. There was like old school Anna, and then there was an old school someone else here, and then earlier there was Harry Mike, and then there was a Harry someone else. So I guess there's just prefixes they randomly cycle through. I know there's a dude there. Oh, no, there was. Oh. I should have been looking at the radar. He moved. Don't kill me. Yeah, and it's shots like that where you're basically just down to luck, whether your shots go where you want them to. Like, the crosshair is a suggestion more than anything. Alright. It's you or me.
You're on fire.
Oh, yeah.
Your team
And that was pure luck because that's not actually where I was aiming, but I'll take it.
Round 2. Go.
And my gun looks different for no reason. Wasn't that red before? Those impact sounds are actually pretty decent. Of course, it still sounds like metal when you hit the glass, but that's alright. I'm not going to complain too much about materially distinct sounds in a game this old. Although, to be fair, Halo did it very well. Yeah, see, I don't really like the splat on just like rock or just general hard surfaces. That metal one wasn't bad. And it looks like I'm the last one versus 4, which I'm not super stoked about. Ooh, it's close. Don't come near me. And the reload sound again didn't work. Oh, piss!
Your team
Was owned by? Oh, man. Remember when everyone said owned? Those were the days. Don't forget ponage. Pwned, ponage, poning. In retrospect, it all sounds so stupid. I mean, it did at the time, too, to be fair, but everybody said it anyway. But it has not aged well, the lingo of the early 2000s. I still remember when people said epic like every other word. It was rough. Oh, man, that character switch takes way too long. It's kind of cool seeing the camera swoop through the environment and the whooshing sound effects for it, the kind of filtered noise. Actually sounds pretty cool, but it takes just slightly longer than it should. That's me trying to be twitchy again, which we've well established doesn't really work in this game. There. Oh, hey, this gun can fire more quickly. Which I didn't realize, because I've been just firing at the same speed as the previous ones allowed me. Just out of now being used to that speed. But you can fire it actually a fair bit faster. Which is nice. I've been really desperate for a better rate of fire up to this point. Can't paintball guns fire faster than this in real life?
You're on fire.
Aren't they pretty much... Don't they make ones that are pretty much as fast as you can pull the trigger? Like, really, really fast cyclic rates? And this gun is the worst one yet for obscuring my view while I'm trying to aim. Nice one, Eagle Eye Justin. You saved the day. Ow. Oh. Turns out you can't breathe, Dr. Pepper. Bunker Elimination, the military training ground, alright? This will be a lot more fun as just an elimination.
There will be lots of room for you to run like a sissy on this massive 7 versus 7 elimination battle of the bunker. Round
Wow.
1.
Okay. Well, I'll keep in mind that I can run like a sissy. But hopefully I won't need to. Now, what do we have for range? Yeah, it does look like, just like before on this map, we have more range. So I guess this map just always does. Which makes sense, this is a big-ass map. I can tell there's a guy there, I think. It's only 480p. So he's like... There's like 4 blue pixels over there, I think. Whoa, bitch. Perfect shot. Center mass. Nothing fancy. Okay, now I'm just getting boxed in. This is not good. Well, I had some allies there till they all buggered off and left me on my own. Ooh, and it switched me to someone who was currently under fire, which
Your team has been defeated.
really did not help. Maybe I should have run like a
Round
sissy. Yeah, I'm officially kind of sick of the music, I have to say. Damn it. It's out of sprint. Unfortunately, we all have Call of Duty syndrome, where we can't run for... We have Call of Duty syndrome where we can't run for more than 2 seconds. Which is really fucking annoying. And look, I'm already winded. And it takes a really long time to build back up. At least in Call of Duty, the sprint ends way faster than it should, but you can then start sprinting again after very little time. To the point that in Call of Duty, I always wondered why they even bothered. Because, like, if the sprint recharges so quickly that you can pretty much immediately start sprinting again anyway, why even bother having it run out? I always wondered why they didn't just give you infinite sprint. You pretty much did anyway, except that you had the added contrivance of having to hit the button over and over.
Your team won.
Guys, you're kind of bunched together. I mean, I know there's not grenades, but still. Also, the lean, as you can see there, the lean kind of just stops on its own for no reason. There were like twice where I just kind of popped back in briefly. Now, that wasn't me letting go of the lean. I was just doing that. And I'm the last... Well, we're gonna have to try that again, sadly. Hey, the reload sound worked. I'm really disappointed there isn't an animation for it, though. It's a bit of a cop-out. Ah, shit! Alright, there's one guy left. Just spray and pray. Way too far for aiming to mean anything. There.
Your team won.
On the topic of the whole switching to another teammate when you get taken out, doesn't that kind of devalue the entire point of picking a character? Or not even character, picking a person? Like, apparently real-life player? Oh, right when I hit the prone button, too. I was gonna dive into there. My old-school dolphin dive didn't work. But yeah, like, I mean, I picked Claire, but it's not that big a deal, because often I'm playing someone other than Claire anyway, so... Oh my god, they're all bunched up in there. Ooh, they're scattering a little. Also, there's a tree there. There's no way they could possibly see me. So I've noticed when I switch to other teammates... Oh god, it's me on 6? Wow. When I switch to other teammates, they often have different guns. So is that your way of choosing your gun? Do, like, the different players have different gear? Oh my god, this is terrifying. Oh, I'm so boned. Oh, this is bad. This is really bad. Getting completely surrounded. Of course, the radar does not differentiate verticality. So, yeah. Oh, there actually is somebody around the corner. Oh!
Your team lost.
I'm gonna go ahead and try upping it a bit. Yeah, it's still pretty slow when I zoom in. I think that might work. Let's try that. Ooh. Yeah. That might be a little too much. Because the acceleration ramp on it is a little weird. It's really slow at first, and then it goes from slow to full speed really suddenly. It's not a very smooth curve. This element of luck is wearing on me. Like, when it feels like my aiming doesn't even matter because the scattering and how much they're affected by the wind is completely random. When it feels like it's not even up to me to land a shot, it's not exactly rewarding. Of course, I'm the last person again. It's not my fault my teammates keep getting taken out. I mean, I know one of them was me, but there's still several others not pulling their weight. Oh, unfortunately you can't lean up and sideways at the same time. So I can't go up and then lean left. Because if I go left, I go down again. It's unfortunate. Not the best lean mechanic ever, but I appreciate that it's here at all. Lean mechanics are weirdly uncommon in shooters. Thanks for standing there, bro. I think someone is in the tower. Looks like the AI is scripted so that someone always has to be in the tower. But that is well and truly too far away. Oh, and he can see me through the tree, because of course the AI doesn't see foliage. So he can tell exactly where I'm standing, even though he's got a tree in the way. So he can see me and I can't see him. It's amazing how many games do that, where the AI can't see foliage. Which puts you at a severe disadvantage. And he led the target there really well. Gotta give him that. Speaking of an element of luck, it's starting to feel like a lot of this just comes down to whether or not my allies survive. I could puss out and drop the difficulty, but I'm not going to. I'm just gonna spray and pray. Good job, MC Brad. Walked right into the open like an idiot. I can't see to the right when I'm zoomed in. This gun model is just gigantic. Now the gun's just straight up in my actual line of fire. And this foliage doesn't look half bad. If I actually go prone and crawl through it, it's not bad. Even looking at it really closely, that foliage holds up better than a lot from this era would.
Your team won.
It doesn't push out of the way when you crawl through it. Some of it looks like it's turning away, but that's just because it's rotating to face me as I go past it. And I got taken out there because I'm looking at the graphics instead of playing the game. The foliage doesn't push out of the way when you crawl through it, which, wow, that was pure chance. I believe MGS3 does indeed have foliage. It like has collision. It actually bends when you crawl over it and gets pushed out of the way. Damn it! Alright, useless guy in the tower. It bugs me they've programmed a guy always to be in this tower when it just means he's not helping. I'd prefer he just got in on the action. Alright, Die Hard Wyatt, we can do this. Hopefully. Nope. Remember when I said elimination on this map would be fun?
Go!
I think I take it back. It's just too big for having no range and terrible accuracy. And everybody bunching up like a lunatic. Looks like you can't switch stances while reloading. So if I hit reload and then prone, nothing happens until after the reload's over. Okay. But can you reload while prone? No, it switches you to crouching. That's why. Okay. Why can't you reload while prone? Surely that's possible. You're just dumping a canister into another canister. It's not even a very specific motion. As you can see in the loading screen photos where they're just spilling them all over the place. I appear to have infinite ammo though, so I guess I can just do this. And it worked. Yeah, there doesn't seem to be a limit to how many times I can reload, which you'd think there should be. Like, you can only carry so many canisters full of paintballs. Is that him? Oh, it is. Yeah.
Your team won.
Finally. 2% accuracy. Like a boss.